Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get started. This is Elliott Wave Sage. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes only. Let's just jump into questions. And if you want to get your question answered as we get more people to join, super chat, I'll just go right to it like I usually do. We'll start at the top, core. So core had a big move, and we predicted this on our channel, guys. We were watching this all week, and we even saw the earnings coming, and this was beyond our wildest imagination. So now you need a fifth wave, which you'll probably get. So here it could just build into 5 here. The other possibility is you get a deeper 4, which could be a buy opportunity. So there could be a dip buy here if it does decide to do that at 931 in this area. And then you can get like a dip buy, but more than likely it's just going to keep grinding higher from here. And obviously the easy money's over, right? So you'll get something like this, like that maybe, and then a big pullback, and you could even pull back to fill the gap even, you know. But, you know, you get the idea. All right, let's look at Maxn. Maxn, okay, let's take a look at that. Some solar. So I don't like the solar sector because I still have the tan going to in the $20 area. So whatever, wherever solar is going, I don't want to be part of it. Let's see. I must sort my symbols again. Maxn. It was weird. It showed up in here. All right, there it is. Okay, so Maxn, let's take a look. It's was a nice short here, so this was a great trade. Again, we had the box here because somebody asked me about this, and there was the short. You know, if it's a Y wave, you need 3 waves down with divergence erased. You kind of have that right here, but let's go to the higher time frame. So this is your connector. So this is your it actually has more downside. This is your A, this is your B right there. And now you need C. So it's got more downside. And what you want to do is go to the lower time frame and look for a completed impulse. Now you do have, here you have no divergence, so you still are missing some 5th wave here, so this is some wave 4. So it's still got more downside. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it extended, so it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it's a 3, 4, 5. So we should have another push lower. And then it could have another big rally, counter trend rally. However, it can always extend and erase divergence, and then this becomes another 1, 2, and it just keeps going. Okay. How are we going to make money? I don't know. You tell me. The best way to trade wave 4s and 5s, in my opinion, where we are in the market, is to play both sides of the trade. So you short and you buy longs, but you don't stay in your position too long. So you know, especially on the short side, you know, and you just you have to be a good trader. So really, in terms of day trading and just trading philosophy, wave 3s is typically the best way to trade. That is to just buy the dip and hold it, which is what we did all year essentially in this wave 3. We essentially got in on this breakout and we pretty much held our position all the way through. But now that we're done the wave 3, now you're in 4 and 5, you know, and because of that, It's choppy, it's messy, it doesn't trend. Some stocks have topped, some need to top and reverse. So it's a trader's market. It's not a buy and hold or just hold market. So you just buy the positions that come to you. So like the SPY has a setup here, and then you have to decide, do I want to take it? Do I want to go long here with a stop loss at 537 and play for upside? And then at some point you take profit, and then you look for a nice three wave, and then you take profit, and then you short it, and then you flip short, and then you come down, you take profit, you flip long, and you just have defined risk. So you put your stop here, you buy here, you put your stop there. So that's how you trade this. That's how you trade it, and that's how you play this. Like the TQQ has a setup here for a long, but that long probably will fail. So you can't just, it's no more buy and hold. It's no more just, oh, I'm just going to hold it, it's going to go to the moon. Now there's always a chance of that, but it's so slim. It's better to just buy the dip, buy the pump, dump it. Get a three-wave move, short it, come down, dump it. And you just do that through the whole correction. And that's essentially what we did on our channel during this bear market here. This is essentially how we traded this. And then at some point, we'll get the reversal, or we'll get signs that the stochastics on the weekly, maybe even the monthly, have bottomed, and then you could maybe hold some positions longer and look for investment type positions. But that's how I trade this, guys. I trade it, and then you have to trade. Then you have to look at things that you don't want to trade. Like the IWM here isn't really a good trade here. It's not really a good trade right in here. Now, if we push down here, you could try to play this dip buy, but then you need to have a stop somewhere. You got to put your stop and try to play for the 5. What if you don't get the 5? Well, you're going to stop out, and that means X is in. Well, what if I want to play for X? Well, okay, let it run up in 5, look for bearish divergence, and start shorting it at 240. But right here, there's no trade. There's no trade at this moment in time in the Russell, so there's no reason to bother with it. Now, there is probably maybe I'll take it back. There's probably one highly speculative trade where you could short right here, but have a stop at this level, and try to play for this B wave, and you short and put a tight stop. So that's how you got to trade it. So you can't have emotion. You can't have a dedication to one side of the market. You got to play both sides. In a way, 4s and 5s is a trader's market. That's a trader's market. Only traders come out ahead in that market. Buy and hold investors end up with nothing or lose money, typically, in the 4s and 5s. So we've entered a trader's market. That's why volatility is increasing. Traders love volatility. Like, look what happened in the Dow, 600 points in one day. So we're going to get more of that. So that's how you trade. That's how you got to do it. But the strategy trade in wave 3s is different, right? And that's how we played that all year. And it was just buy the dip, you just kept buying. Now, and then it didn't work anymore. Stopped out. Okay, change of conditions. The 3's in. Now we got to change our strategy. Just like a computer. No emotion. No doubt. You just rules based, and then you do it. Okay, so let's. I want to mention that because I think a lot of people have that same question. Tesla. Let's take a look at Tesla here. And let's see, Tesla. Come back up. So Tesla, guys. Again, there's a way to play Tesla here by going long, but I would put a stop at 200 if you want to play this try to play this wave 5. Maybe you could even just play the gap fill and get out and not worry about this part of it and just get this money here. This possibility as well. That's the play on Tesla. That's the only play I can see. I wouldn't short it. I wouldn't do anything other than that's the play, and that's something you'll just have to think about if you want to do that. But this is the bullish case. This is another stock that I say you're backing into the low, because the only other alternative is if we break 200, this becomes a connector in 3, and you have 3 and 3, and then you'll get another 3, and you'll come back to retest this low or even break it. So either 200 holds, or we're going to 105 and 6, or it makes another push higher. So probably, I think the push higher is more likely than the break lower. This may be actually a trade I play on Monday. I may take this long here, and then I would probably play the trade and then just dump it in this area, in this golden pocket. And yeah, I get the 5 away, whatever. I don't, I get reject, whatever. But I think you're going to get a bounce here of some kind. So that's a tradable opportunity, I believe, is in Tesla here. But of course, I'll have a stop loss if I take the trade right around 200, and you could lose money. Because it could still be 3 waves. So nothing's risk free. Okay, guys, super chat. Arlich, thank you. Appreciate the big super chats. ATGE. Let's go to ATGE and take a look. Let's see if we've done that. ATGE. ATGE is at the Lamb Global Education. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, pretty good chart so far. Let's see. So right away, I love like when you break a high that we've been consolidating. But we always have to be aware of a flat anytime you break a new all-time high like that. Just always something to keep in the back of your mind. So we have to always, be a little cautious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. It could be like a 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's see how the pattern looks. No, it's a type 4 here, so I'll just label it like this. Right, and then you have your 3 down, but then you failed. So right there, you see that? But your risk divergence, so it's a truncation. It's a truncation, which is okay. It's okay, and in fact, yeah, it's just a truncation. It's got to be something like this, and then it came off this low in 5. Pretty clear 5 waves right there. And then you came down in 5, up in 3 there. Now you're coming up. Right, 1, 2. You've erased divergence. All right, so this looks good. So it looks like it's got some extension. I don't see it in danger of a flat until it completes all the 3s. This degree 3, this degree. So it can still, I think it's still going to push higher. So these waves have to complete, and then when that's complete, then you can worry, is it a flat or not, and see where this is trading. But it looks like it's more upside. I mean, the shorter time frame here, we could always go back and look and see that, you have bearish divergence here. So this impulse could be finished here. Keep that in mind. And again, it's either going to be a 3 here, and a 4, and a 5, or it will be another 1, 2. Okay, so I'm going to start labeling things a little more conservative for now, given the market is in a top-in process. Okay, next is BABA. Will BABA go to 81 or above? Well, the best way to time BABA is the bottom of Alibaba is when the Hang Seng gets to this box. And we're almost there, so that's a good sign for you Alibaba holders. I believe when Alibaba gets to this area, the market could find support for your China stocks. But let's look at the K-Web as well and see how the K-Web's trading. See if that gives us a clue as to what may be going on in the technology. So here you have a big move, a connector, and it failed. So it looks like the K-Web has more downside, but let's see how the divergences look. Big divergence that needs to get erased. Big. So it definitely has more downside coming in the K-Web. So therefore, we know BABA still got more downside that it is going to see. So where can this wave end? Let's take a look. That would be 2382. So when the K-Web hits 2382, you can look and time your buy of Bali Baba right there as well. And that will be a sign. So it looks like there's definitely more downside. I would think it's coming for Baba, as you can see. And you're asking me, will it go to 81 or above? I believe it will. I believe, here's the thing that I believe, as long as this low holds, yes, I think it will take one more swing up at least. Maybe this is a B and a C, even if it's corrective. I think that's what it will do. Now, if this low breaks, all bets are off. So I think as long as those conditions are met, but I do think this is coming. Now, what could also happen is we're still in B and we get a little bit of a relief rally, but that rally should fail. Now, if you get that, you're going to get to 81, right? You're going to get to 81 and above, right? But there's no guarantee, and I can't predict that. It seems to me that it wants to finish. It's going to finish this move, and it's coming down to retest this area here. But yeah, if we break this low, then it could be a lot of things that we'll have to redo our chart. All right, let's go to the next super chat. Tom Pickles, Sofi. Sofi should be being helped by the Russell index, but I am worried about a bigger decline in Sofi in the future. I think the last time we had Sofi on here, we expected this pump in 2, and I've said between the 2 and the 4, and that's about right where we got rejected. So this 2 could be in. If it's in, it's got a catastrophic decline coming. Puke, because it's going to unravel, and it's going to unravel fast. However, I will say that it could always double correct in 2. It's trading against this level here. So there is a chance of a double correction higher. Again, I don't know if it's going to do that or not, but I wouldn't short it. I wouldn't buy it here. I would just know that if we could take this level out here, then the bear case is negated. And if we take this out at 6, it's going to be waterfall panic selling. And it looks like it has earnings coming up. So I think earnings is going to decide what's going to happen. So place your bets. I don't know. I'm showing you the chart I think is going to play out, but I can be wrong. So good luck with that. All right, Festival. EXK. Let's take a look at that. Silver stock. Okay, so we still have this coming off of a connector here where we go higher. So this is a couple things. You see that bearish divergence? That's not typical for a wave 3. So again, I look at this. It looks like to me this is a full wave up and down in the 4-hour cycle. This looks like a 1-2. This looks bullish to me. Now there's a dip buy opportunity. Again, someone's like, what can we trade? Well, this is something you could trade right here. Buy at 408, stop loss at 362, Try to play for this wave 3 breakout. Now this is a good trade on the long side. This is a good trade on the long side. Because this can't be a flat. This looks like an impulse, not 3 swings. So it's not really probably a flat. We got a good reset on the 4 hour. We never really pumped on this wave up. So we didn't really have a 3 here. You got a big reset. This is a good trade setup for a potential breakout. Okay, I'm just saying. So that's how you have to trade this. Now if this is a 3, good. And then we play this Y wave and we come up to 13 or somewhere up here. Cool. All right. Good luck with that. And that's something I will add to my own watch list. Okay. Next is AG. AG. All right, AG is a little different. We did actually remember we had a buy area here, but we thought it truncated. It looks like it's probably heading there in this wave too. So we'll just have to take a look at the count real quick and just see if we can decipher what's going on. So that's a connector. So like silver, it's double correcting down. It's just a double correction down. It's just doing that. Something like that. So that's an opportunity right here. Let me just make sure I got the targets. Yeah, I got the target. All right, so that's the target, but ultimately your stop could even be down here, but that's a pretty big risk. But you want to see divergence erased. You're almost there. Just a little push lower. So a little push lower. Hopefully can get it there. All right, next is Iceman Icy. Any thoughts on AA silver play? Let's take a look. AA silver play. I am looking for that, and I'm not sure which symbol you're looking for here. I don't know if you're thinking of Alcoa or something. I'll come back. If you could put in the comments what you're looking at. I'll come back to it. KLG, Kellogg. That's it. Okay, staples. Interesting. All right. We don't get a lot of people asking about these consumer staple stocks. See, I don't. Did they just IPO or something? Like what? Or what happened? Why is there not chart data? Did they split or something? That's weird. Okay. Yeah. Do you know about Kellogg too? Why is there no data? Did they just? I figured they'd been in the market longer than this. Well, whatever. We'll just chart what we got here. All right, we'll chart what we got here. Okay, yeah, all right, Alcoa. We'll get to Alcoa then. Yeah, we didn't take the high out in extended hours. So it's probably some kind of 1-2 as well. I'm just thinking like a 1-2, 1-2 setup. And this is a flat. Man, this thing got destroyed. The flat needed an impulse. Obviously, the impulse finished here, so we don't even really have to look at it. So if this is right, this is the bottom and should be pulling out from the low here. That's what it should be doing. So, and then it looks like you're starting to get that extension in 3. So it should just continue higher. But then, of course, when the 5 ends, it's going to pull back. and it has to keep this 1533 low. But I mean, there's not a lot of chart data to know if it's bullish or bearish, the trend, so we'll assume bullish until this low breaks at 1522. But I'm leaning it this way. I don't think it's a 3-4, and I don't think it's a flat. So good luck with that. All right, next is the the Alcoa. So we saw aluminum is on the precipice of a cliff, right? It needs to really pump. It's at the edge of a cliff. All right, so we got this 2 here, and then what do we have here, right? So let's take a look at what we got going on here. And then you got the 3, the 4, and the 5. So that played out just like we thought. And we never got that done. We got a little truncation there, but it finished. So now it's, is it, see how the peak is here and here, and you reset the whole cycle. That's very interesting, but let's go to a higher time frame. And you did the same thing again. So interesting that we're taking this whole leg is getting corrected with this move in 3. So maybe it's some kind of 3-wave move in a connector wave, so this is a big connector wave. So it's a 3-wave move and a big connector wave probably. It's got to play out. And now you're in this X wave. And there's just a lot of possibilities. It could always come back down and break the low and then rip up higher. But I think, looking at Alcoa's chart, it's okay. I think the worst case scenario is you break this, and actually the connector is already done, which is very bearish. That would be essentially a go to zero situation for the company. This is so bearish if this is the case. So that's why I wanted another like pump higher, but that was like too bearish. I was backing into the low here, but I think it's now in this X wave, and really the X could just keep going down. But I'll give you the classical entry here for where it would typically find support, and we're right in that right now. So we'll see if it can bounce. If it can bounce like this. And maybe that's telling us aluminum's going to recover prices. And they're not going to, because like I said, aluminum is kind of on the edge of a cliff, but it hasn't gone over the cliff yet. Oh, Nike. Yeah, Nike, Nike I think long term isn't going anywhere. It's obviously in a bear market. And it's going to create great opportunity for long-term investors. But I warned about that we should see a bounce here around $70, and I still believe that. And then, but I do believe that bounce is going to fail for one last swing lower. I can't tell you where it will end. More than likely, this is the market-wide sell-off. This probably has nothing to do with Nike-specific news. This was probably all Nike-specific. This is the recovery, and then this is probably some market-wide sell-off that just takes everything down. If that's the case, that's when you can come in and buy it. Now, if this is company-specific, then I don't know. It could just keep going lower. But I do think it's due a bounce. And bigger picture, we had this major pivot break. So you have a WX and you're in Y, and you have a WXY and a WX, Y. So I'm just kind of trying to finish the sequences out. It's going to find support in 70, the high 60s here. Bounce. Now, if it bounces and fails, it could come back to touch 52. But there is the classical target of 35, and you get that, I think, with just the extension. Right there, 34.75. So it can, it could very well go down that far. That's why I don't like trading Nike. And if you're going to hold it, you know, it's tough to let things go, but I would say that maybe when you get this bounce, you could think about dumping your bags, and then maybe you can buy it back later if you're lucky. But again, nothing's guaranteed. I'm just giving you my perspective on it. Uh, you know, I don't think Nike's going bankrupt or anything like that. I do think it's just a big grand super cycle correction that one day will end, and then there'll be good times again in Nike. Just not right now. Right now, there's some pain that still has to happen. The long-term stochastics could also give you a clue on maybe when the correction's over, when this monthly cycle breaks, this downtrend line. That may give you a clue when the major when this is over. Until then, it could just keep going lower. So we could even look at the quarterly since it's such a historic stock. And again, we could watch the quarterly stochastic here, but it's obviously not going to be very helpful. I mean, I don't think Nike's going to be in a bear market to 2033, but I'm just saying it's not looking good from a stochastic standpoint. From the RSI, look, major. I mean, we may see the quarterly grid all the way down. Okay, just saying. Bear market. Okay, thanks again. Let's go to Elias. USDTD. Let's take a look. USDT. We may have looked at this before. I thought maybe I saved it. There. Okay, so we had looked at it here. So what's interesting is we only got 3 waves up. We only got 3 waves up. Let's see. So that's actually a bearish pattern. So we have 3. So we're going to have to label this more bearish now. Like that. Something like that. Okay, so now it's got to come back in X. All right, it's got to come down in X. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. Looks like one more push lower. And then maybe you'll get X set. So it looks like it's got one more push lower. And then it's done. I have no idea what this means, by the way. A market cap dominance of Tether, USDT, or what is this? So that's what I'm seeing, and then it should then take a swing higher like this. Okay, if this is right, we have to go with a more corrective look, and it's not moving in an impulse like we thought. Others. All right, so we almost got this dip down to where we wanted it, but we didn't. So let's see what happened here. So we have 3, 3, and it looks like it made 5 down. So we thought it would have ended here at 3, but it didn't. So it pushed lower in Y. So it's going to go lower. Y will extend lower, and we have an impulse down. Well, actually, this looks like 3 up. Yeah, 3 up, and then down in C. So it's got to make another. It should make another low. Now, let's find the target. and I'll highlight the target here. Okay, so I think it's going to make a push down here to finish out now. And we'll see what happens. I think if it could take this peak out, then it's this chart's negate it, and of course it's going to go higher. So yeah, when it made this dump, it screwed the chart up. It negated the bottom, because we were hoping it bottomed here in 3, but it didn't. It made a 5th wave, so now it's got to extend down. But we kind of knew that because we never really were close to the target. So that was the clue. QQQ SPY, let's look at that. Let's see here. Okay. I'm not sure what was going on here, but okay. So 3, 1, 2. You know, this is that big impulse, and let's go to the monthly. So the monthly clearly shows this is a wave 3, but when we pulled back, this reset the whole thing. Right, it reset the whole thing. So let's see if the quarterly is any different. Yeah, the quarterly is a little better. Yeah, so I would still label this like you would do the chart for the triple Qs. Like that, and then it'll pull back like that. Okay, maybe find somewhere down here now. We're in this 5, so where can the 5 go? It almost hit the target area. Let's look at this and see if the impulse is finished. You know, 1, 2. Yeah, it probably finished here. At least this one. So I don't know if we're done or not. We could still be in 5. It's not enough data to tell. So it could be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you could very easily put 5 here, and then it's an A, B, and then it's just going to come all the way down to this area. So tough to say. You'll have to make a decision. I don't know. Again, I guess this shows like, is the technology sector going to outperform, right? If the ratio is higher, it means technology is larger than the SPY, so it's gaining more, which is sense, right? Because we know technology is gonna, about to puke, right? So that's somewhere around there. But I wouldn't be surprised that maybe it can extend a little bit. Okay, and then you pull back. But the good thing is, since you broke these highs, even when you pull back, the future is going to be very good for technology. Just pain. It could be a lot of pain coming. You have to deal with a lot of pain, but the future could be very, very, good for a lot of people. And also with a lot of these charts showing tech, with big cap tech taking out those highs, sets you up in the future for a lot higher prices, but the path to get there could be very painful. Okay, that's all I'm saying, and we may be entering a period of pain. That's all I'm saying. And yeah, my euro. Yeah, I'm trying to do it at different times, and I'll try to do other time zones as I get more free time, especially in the fall. Jonathan Groves. ALL trade-in levels, profit taken levels. Okay, yeah, I'll take a look at that for you. Let's see here. All right, so I guess we got this one right. I mean, damn, we got the short, then we got the long. Okay, so if this is playing out the way I think it is, the connector could end here, but it's a higher degree connector. Okay, so because of that, it could do this. It could find sellers here and then make another swing up and do something like this. Okay, and then end. So if I was day trading it, I would keep this bigger picture in the back of my mind, but here it's going to be tough to figure this out because there's too many possibilities on this leg, because you could have a 1, 2, 3, 4. We could be 5. We could be done this 3 pretty soon, or in fact, it could be even done now. Make this 5, put this 1 in, pull back down, and then rip one last time. But this is kind of the idea I'm thinking about. You know, ultimately, it has to stay above 15 cents, 15.32, and it's bullish. So I'd be looking to buy the dip in 3 waves against 15. So you have 1 wave, okay? So maybe you get lucky and you get another wave down. So maybe you get something like, if you get that, you can buy that. And then have a stop here, and then let it run and let the market stop you out, or take some profit here, because then you're you know, because I think once you get here, the danger is you have a 3-wave move or a 5-wave move finished, and so then the connector could be finished, and then you go to new lows. So I don't think I would short anywhere in this. I would only be taking long positions on buy the dip. I would not short anywhere in here. I would just be trying to buy the dip against pivots. So your pivot here is what you're buying the dip against. 15.19, and then I would let the market stop you out and play for the upside, and just keep playing for that upside until the market stops you out, because you'll get a new pivot. So you change, you raise your stop, you come up right in another 5 waves. So you know, raise your stop here, raise your stop, and you just keep playing it until the market stops you out. That's what I probably would do, how I would trade it if I was forced to trade this. But yeah, I mean, I would look for a better dip to get long and then put a stop there. That's how I trade it. That's how I trade it. And if you're already in the trade, then you could be looking to take some profit here in this area and look for a pullback, but I probably wouldn't sell all of it. I would keep some of it and then put on the 4 my stop to sell all of it, and then look to get back in on wave 2 against this low. That's how I trade it. But you're gonna have to be in front of your screen like all day to do this. But so far so good. It looks like it's playing out. DJT has been playing out just like we want it. You know, just like we expect. Not the transportation. I'm assuming you're meaning the Trump stock, right? Trump media. All right, DJT has been playing out, guys. I mean, we called this perfectly before any assassination, right? Pump and drop. So I want to see this low break at 28.48 with divergence erased, and then you can buy this again and have a stop loss at 24.89. So there is an area for long positions in this area right here, right there. The play for a breakout. Now again, if you stop out here, it's gonna be catastrophic for the chart, which is obvious. Look at this massive top. It will break. It'll probably come all the way back down to these areas. So it's got to hold. It's do or die for the stock right there, right now. I don't think it's going to turn early. Let's see here. Yeah, we're going to have to put the A, something like this. So maybe get a little more of a pump here, but I do think I don't want to buy it here because we didn't break the low. But we'll double check a couple things. Yeah, see, I still think you should be patient and try to pick it up in this area. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so there's your connector down. And so, yeah, maybe it bounces a little bit and then it fails for the final push lower. Thanks for the super chat. Crypto Mickey. BTC flat starting to play out or one more high. Yeah, so I cautioned you guys about the flat. It just seemed a little too obvious to me, but there's a couple things happening in the market. Bitcoin Cash is about to break out. I can't, I don't really see it as a flat because this is your connector. So that would bring, so that's a sign that maybe crypto's a little more bullish. But here, this does not look like an impulse. This is a mess, actually. This is 3 down, a connector, and it's just a mess. So honestly, I don't know if it's playing out or not. I think it's 50-50. I mean, I don't know. We haven't got a definitive break. So it's like people are at the poker table and they're just, the stack is getting bigger and bigger in the center, right? It's just getting bigger and bigger. Like no one's made a move yet. No one's made a move. But the daily cycle is breaking, right? So maybe the bears are starting to assert their influence. Maybe we will get that flat. The 4-hour has already broke, but that you really can't read a lot into that other than, so it is obviously in a downtrend on the 4-hour and daily. The 45-minute. See how we erase divergence here? That's why it's a 3-swing move, a flat. See, you look at this, you're like, oh, it looks like an impulse, but the RSI does not. RSI only gives you a 3-swing move. So that's another sign it's a flat. No bearish divergence at the peak. The RSI here looks like it's about to break again, come down. I would say flat. I put my money on flat, but it is staying supported. Bitcoin Cash is trying to break out. I mean, if it's not a flat, it's not a flat. So if Bitcoin Cash gets rejected here, this would be another probably 1-2 of some kind. Okay, by the way. So, I had this other target here, but I don't think it's getting down there. So I don't know. I think in crypto, I like to see this push lower, like I said. But if we take this high out, then the flats negate it. It needs one more high to negate the flat, but the flat doesn't have, like it could be in it now. It could be ready to just take a puke back down to 64,000, and then we'll know we're in a flat. Hard to say. Yeah, nat gas is not something I typically do well in, but I've been trying to give you my thoughts. I've been saying it's going to go lower. I believe it's due for a capitulation event like oil had when it went negative. I almost think it's going to have the same situation happen, and it's just been grinding lower. It looks like it's almost done 5 waves here. which means I should rally and then maybe hopefully fail. Almost just like oil. So that's my chart on natural gas. The reason I think it's that bearish is this could have been the low. We could have labeled this as a big flat, which A, B, C, but as you saw, we broke the low here. And ever since then, it struggled. So it could actually be a bigger decline in 5, a bigger flat. Like it still could be a flat, or it's just an impulse down in 5. And 5 is, we're just starting. I mean, that's how I look at natural gas. And that's why I don't really want to trade it. I really don't want to trade it because it's just got an ugly chart like this. Now, some people are bullish. They're like, well, that's an A, that's a B, and it's going to C and then go down. Like, I don't want to trade it, but I'm just showing you my perspective because I think if oil does this, nat gas should follow, in my opinion. And that's what my chart is showing. But my chart is also showing a bounce is coming in energy here. So maybe nat gas will bounce with it. All right, Thomas. All right, appreciate the super chat. And NO 10-year. Let's take a look at that. Oh, cool. Norwegian 10-year government bond yield. Let's take a look at how that's going on. All right, let's take a look. So just like on the U.S. indices, it was in a big bear trend that broke. Okay. So here you have bullish divergence at the peak. So this is some 5-wave move off the low, which implies we need another swing higher, just like all the world markets. So if the secular trend is lower to negative, we need a 3-wave bounce of some kind. Okay, so we're going to need that, and then it could resume its trend. Right, it can resume the trend. Right. But since we have 5 up, we're going to get another pump in rates. But I do believe, just like the U.S. rate market, we have a pullback in rates coming. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. So this one's not a flat like the others. So this is an easier one to chart, more classic move, connector, drop. So it looks like we should see rates fall back down to this area, and then you have another swing higher. Okay, something like this. And just hypothetical, if let's say we got there, somewhere in the middle here, that'll get you to 63723 at the peak, maybe 7.5 worst case, and then the secular trend can re-emerge for another 30, 50 years, whatever. Now, of course, I show you rates, but there's no guarantee you'll get a 3. You could get a 4 and a 5, and then it just keeps going up, right? So there's always a chance you can get like a 1, a 2, a 3, but what if you get 4 and 5 again? Well, guess what? It's just going to do the same thing. It's just going to have A, it's going to pull back, it's going to even go higher. Yeah, that can happen. So we don't know. The future right now, like when we got this push here across the world markets, it set us up for higher rates later. Now, if we would have topped here, then that could have started but it didn't. It just didn't do that. It just wasn't able to do that. Now, one of the things we do think about in rates is this is the classic view that I'm showing you, which is, I would say, 80% likely to happen. but there's always a flat possibility, right, where you have an ABC at the bottom, but you would have to do something like this. And this is a connector wave. It doesn't seem likely. This would be a pretty big stretch because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swings, but these overlap, so you have 3 connector, but you're missing 1. So really, you would have to put that there and here, maybe, to get that to look like that. And then you could say WXY, WX, and then it's a wipeout. But I think it's a low likely event. I think that's a low probability. And when I look at this, here it looks like 5. It doesn't look like 3. And that negates that. Now we do have 3 here, but this leg doesn't look like it can do that. 5, it looks like 5 to me. So because of that, it's more like this is an A, B, C, and then this is 3 down to finish the move, and 3 down, connector down. So this was some kind of WXY connector here. So this is the bottom. So that's why I think it's not likely. Anyway, so I'm just showing you that. So that's why I think rates are going to be higher in the future, but short term they should drop. Of course, the surprise would be they just keep going up. So it has to stay below this level here. It has to stay below this level, or this won't happen. And now you have your A, your B, and 1, 2, and it's just gonna spike big time. But I don't expect that to happen. All right, thanks for the super chat. And Bitcoin, yeah, so Bitcoin, a couple things on Bitcoin, just so you are aware. Again, we'll start with the big picture on Bitcoin. You know, we came up off the grand super cycle, we corrected in a flat, and we found the low, and so I have us labeled in like a 1, 2, 3, and a 4 that's finished, and we're in a wave 5 that should push us up to 82, 83, maybe even 85,000. And then we'll get a big pullback, maybe even deep. Could even go as low as 42,000 to complete this first 1, 2, and then we can go much higher. That's probably the most likely path. But there's a couple alternate paths you need to be aware about. One is this could be a 3, a 4, and a 5. If that's the case, we will not rally. In fact, this flat will fail. And when I say fail, it won't even find support. It'll come back and break this low. And then we'll get a big decline down to the same area, 42,000. And then you have 1, 2, and then you can come out of that. I think, to me, I'm like, I would say 60% chance we're in a wave 5, you know, maybe, you know, 35% chance it's this. But then there's also another situation you should be aware about, and this is, of course, the bear dream. It's a connector and a flat correction, and we'll come all the way back down and break these lows. And you could call it a double top, but I call it a flat. That would be the better way to call it. It would be something like an A, a B, and a C. That pattern has not been negated. So I'm just saying. So I think, and I give that a 5% chance. That would obviously have to be a market-wide meltdown, a market-wide historic, essentially crash, which is a low likely event, but as you've seen in my charts, it's not been negated yet. So just consider that. But this is where I think we are in the market on Bitcoin, and on the shorter time frame, I thought this is too soon. I'd like a pullback back down to 62.5, 61. Then we can push higher, or even it could go deeper. I think this would surprise me to have a 1, 2, 1, 2, and we just take off. But if we do that, just know this 5 can finish then, And once it's finished, it can end at any moment, the cycle, and we could get a big decline. So that's just something to keep in mind. The other thing with Bitcoin is you may want to hedge your Bitcoin positions with short positions just as a hedge, just in case you get a bigger decline, you break the low and get even a 42, or you get the historic crash scenario, low probability event. Again, if you're in your whole stack long, you're playing for just a little, probably a little bit more upside, but there is a lot of risk, that will eventually emerge when this wave surfaces here. Just so you know, the chances of this being a 2 and this going is not likely. I think this is something like this is going to happen, okay? But that's how I look at the crypto market right now. And a lot of people are joining the cycle late. They're joining it late. Every trader loves to join at the end of the cycle. This is the end of the cycle. Everyone should have bought here. This is when I was telling my friends to buy. This is when my channel said to buy. This was the opportunity here, all in this area. This is late in the cycle. You're coming in at the end of the move. Just know where you are. This is probably the end of the move. This was the time to come in. There'll be another time to come back in at the beginning of the move here for this move. That's how I see the market, guys. I mean, it may not be what you want to hear, but this is what I think it's going to do. And we'll just have to play it by ear. But that's what I see right now happening. Something like this. And but it's tough. The short-term call on Bitcoin is really tricky right now. This is really tricky. It is stalemate. It's like stalemate. It's the bulls and bears are right now stuck. Who's going to make the first move? The market's frozen right now, essentially. Okay, guys. Let me scan your comments. I see a lot of people asking about DXCM. Oh yeah, that stock totally collapsed. It did a MongoDB, right? MongoDB kind of did the same thing on earnings. And what did I say with MongoDB? It could have been now, a great opportunity for long-term investors, but we want it one more push lower, right? So Dexcom's probably going to have the same situation develop. And again, this is just a technical chart I'm giving you. I'm not showing you anything about the company itself or products or anything. Like, I know a lot of people like it, and that's fine. This is just the technicals playing out. So the technicals show the grand super cycle ended here. We had 3 waves down. This could have been the bottom. This was a very tough chart to trade in the middle here in this connector area, because it was a very deceptive chart, because you had 5 waves up. You had 5 waves up here. You had a big sharp pullback, and you actually had 5 waves up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with a breakout. So it's a very deceptive chart. But what happened was, as this chart was playing out, if this was the count, and I always say this, guys, the market always finds support between the 4 and the 2. So really 123, 113 needed to hold. Once we broke those levels, that's when in my mind I'm thinking something's not right with this count. And that's where got me starting, like, getting nervous a little bit and just kind of thinking about this chart a little bit more. And so now you have to look at it as this was just a big connector wave in an ABC connector. And it really fooled the market. It probably fooled the algos. It probably fooled everybody was in the wrong position, which is why you got this historic drop, because everybody was on the wrong side of the trade. It was actually a connector. So with the connector, we do a new target, right? So we all know in a connector wave, we do this on our channel all the time. And we just project the target without emotion, without bias, without any no news. It's not news driven. It's just what the chart says. So that's 44.30. So I'd be looking for it to drop down to 44.30. You have this historic trend line here. It can even come back and tag that. That's probably the worst case scenario at 27.39. So this is probably the area that, strong, long-term investment opportunity. I think here it's a little dangerous dip buying it only because we do a relief rally. Okay, see how you had this leg and you had this bounce in B. You're gonna get a bounce like this. Kind of like I was saying with Nike, you're gonna get a bounce. But that bounce more than likely is gonna fail at some point. And it may fail at this resistance, this overhead resistance here. You have this big top, a lot of trap longs, and it's probably going to find resistance in the low 80s in this area. If you're lucky, you can get up into this area, and then, like I said, I think there's a market-wide sell-off coming, and I think that's what will finish the move. My guess is there's not going to be a company-specific reason for this move here. I think this is a market-wide push that everything melts down, that pushes things down here, like Nike, like I was saying. So I think that's the chart I would be looking for. I think on the short term, it looked like the impulse wasn't complete, so it looked like they could still push a little bit lower before this bottoms out, and then I think you'll get a counter trend rally, and then somewhere like you had here, it's going to end, and then you'll get the final push down. It's kind of what I'm thinking. If it's already bottomed here, it would have truncated, and you don't really see the connector wave within this wave, so it'd be very unusual. It would be very unexpected. So I wouldn't count on it. In fact, if something like that happens, you could almost say that you have like an A. You could even say you're in B and C and get X and get Y later, like that. So like now that this low is broken, I think it's hard to see it, reversing up and coming. Like I think it's got a bounce. It needs another bounce and a swing lower to finish it, and that would really get the sentiment to the point where it's basically capitulated, and only the true believers are left holding. That's what let's settle for something like this. But yeah, it was wild, and it was, but they did give a clue breaking down below this pivot here. That was the clue going into earnings, breaking down like that. Because if we were going to get a breakout on earnings, we should have been trading up in this area. And in fact, by breaking this high, we should have just kept extending. Remember, the market had been pushing higher this whole time, but it had been going down. So this was a warning sign. I think if you were paying enough attention to the chart, it was probably giving you a warning that people were selling here. I don't know what's happening, but that's what's going on. So it's in a grand super cycle correction. Hopefully it finds support down in this area, and then it can return to higher prices. Could probably someday in the future hit $300 or higher. But the path to get there may be painful. It may be painful, and but also create a tremendous opportunity for true believers if the company can stay around, right? Because it could get taken over, right? Because as they get cheaper, a big fish comes and gobbles them up. So they have to keep it going to see this wave 3, or somebody else is just going to fold that into their company. So that's what I see here. It's just it was a crazy chart, and I heard the puts. If you happen to buy like puts like on 20 like next day puts, they were up like 100,000%. Like you basically could turn like $5,000 into like 5 million. Like it. So I don't know who got lucky, but that's like a once in a lifetime earnings play like that, man. Whoever may have been short in this or had puts, they're probably retired, because I think the puts were up. They were because it was so mispriced. Because this chart fooled everyone. Market makers Elliott Wave Sage, everybody got fooled on this chart. So it's really real crazy price action. It also tells you the tone of the market. Like, is this how mega cap tech ends its grand super cycle, with a big earnings miss, and then we get one of these, everyone's on the one side of the boat, an Apple, and one day you're just, it just got me thinking, like, could this happen to mega cap tech a day like this? And if it did, could you imagine the craziness, the pain, I just wonder, because if everyone's on one side of the boat, so bulled up, so bullish, don't see the bear case, what a lot of people don't see with mega cap, I wonder if it's setting you up for a massive disappointment, just like this stock did. So it got me thinking about the rest of the market too, and maybe how susceptible it could be to a catastrophic drop with the right news. But anyway, I see a lot of Dexcom, so I went ahead and answered that. But I think it's a good company overall. It's just technicals, just too many people on one side of the boat, and they got disappointed, and the buyers just didn't show up. All right, next is got another super chat here. Noke. Mike, MSTR, all right, cool, yeah. So I think MSTR is a signal that, we need another low in crypto. So I am looking at MSTR here. Guys, as you can see, we broke this high here, which is good, but then we reversed. So let's take a look. Let's take a deeper look. That's in 3. We erased divergence. So this is an important level for MicroStrategy right here. So either B's in, and maybe this is a tell where Bitcoin's going. Let me make sure I got the right target. Now the reason I have that target is we have 5 down. That's the reason, okay? So we need another swing lower. That's the reason. That's why I say it doesn't show like it to me. That it shows to me it needs another swing lower. Now, let's look at the price. That would be somewhere around $820 in this area. Now, I'm not saying B is in yet, but it has the look and feel. And if this breaks, then I believe we'll get an expanded flat, and we'll have a different looking count, and this would become like a W, and then you have an A, B, C, and a 1, 2, 1, 2, and it will come up to this area here, and then rug pull back down to this low at 1,000. So, I would say that I wouldn't short it or go long it here, but I'm just going with this chart for now. And I'm just kind of been keeping an eye on it. I would have liked to seen Y go a little bit higher before you got this big sell-off here. So again, it's tough to say. I look at this as a corrective move that needs one more leg down, but I can't rule out the possibility of B coming up and becoming a flat and then dropping hard back to retest that low. But right now, I'll just leave it at that. All right, Eddie. Please find a new ticker in the chat for someone who can't afford a super chat. Thanks for your consistent hours. Yeah, I did Dexcom. Everyone was asking about Dexcom, so I did do that one. I'll scan through it and see if there's anyone else out there that anything else that's common. I'll do a couple here. Let's look at UTSL. Again, I'm just picking some random ones. UTSL, utilities. I think that's the utility bull. So I want to be more conservative given the market conditions. So I want to call this like a lead-in diagonal coming out. So I'm going to call this a 5. Is a lead-in diagonal coming out and then a pullback. But I do think we should make another high. All right. I did Sofi already, and Let me see. RCL, do RCL. I think that's one that. All right, so let's be a little more. Again, this was pretty bullish, but obviously with this breakdown, it would have it ruined the bull case. So we have to be a little more conservative now. We have to be a little more conservative. So I would be looking for a 4 that should be finishing soon, and 5. So be looking for something a little more conservative, and then we'll put the 3 there, and the 4 there. So we have to be a little more conservative. It could still pump pretty hard, but I think this is going to be more realistic given the market, overall market conditions. On the short term, this is due to bounce. So this could be the bottom here. If we look at this wave too, it was matched against. You see how it bounced and failed. So it could very well bounce and fail and go a little bit longer. So why don't we kind of do something like that here and see something like that. And we also look for the 618 retrace as a typical wave 4 target. That would be 150. We almost hit that. So like I said, it's pretty deep. So that's why I'm like, maybe I could talk myself into it being done. But I think looking at this wave, it could bounce and fail. So I think you just got to kind of have to play it by ear. But it does look like I would rather label it this way for now, just to be a little more conservative and not label it as like a 1-2, 1-2. Okay. Alrighty. I think I got through everybody's questions. I'll just kind of just scan through more comments. Fngu here. Let's see what happened here. All right, so I guess we must have had a buy there a long time ago. All right, looks like it moved in 5 waves off the low, and we had 5 waves down unless we erased divergence. We didn't. So this looks like a flat. We ended in a flat here of some kind. So that's a flat, and then we're coming up. That's a big move down. So it's obviously finishing. It finished this 5 waves up, right? With bearish divergence. So I probably wouldn't call that 3 because I would say it's probably another 1-2. And again, normally we lose the whole wave 5. So I'd be looking for 198. So it's pretty bearish, right, for tech, right? But it needs a bounce. It needs a bounce, right? To me, it needs a bounce, but that bounce should fail. Okay, something like that. But like I said, at some point in the future, tech is going to be okay, guys. Even though we're talking about these big, scary pullbacks, it may be painful to get there, but the future looks good. It's just pain, a lot of pain may be coming in the market in the next couple years, year and a half, couple years. All right, got a super chat come in. Let's take a look at ICP. All right, let's take a look at that. ICP BTC. On Coinbase. Okay, let me find Coinbase here. There we go. Let me just see my ICP chart in general. Just see what I have for it. All right, let's see. So the 4 extended. So we only have 3 down. So we were looking for a flat, but we got 3 down. This looks like 3 up, 3 down. So that's actually, well, you know what? It could still be a 4. I'm going to take that back. It could still be a 4, but man, it really bounced. It really corrected. Look at all that capitulation. So this is 3 down, 3 up. So it's actually, it's got to be moving in a corrective structure. So I would probably be looking for it as like 3 up, 3 down, and then 3 up. So it's just kind of the structure's changed a little bit. So let's look at what you want here. So again, here you have 5 up off this low. And then you have a big 3-wave pullback. And it hit the buy area exactly and bounced. So I guess on Coinbase it's a little clearer, more clear on the correction. So yeah, now it's do or die time, right? It's gonna have to come out of this 2. Okay, so it's got to come out of this 2. And it looks like it probably has done that. So it should be okay. It should be okay. This low has to hold, or it's this was just a big connector wave and a flat. I'm sorry, but see again, I don't see 3 here. Maybe it would have to be here. It would have to be some like connector wave like this, which is doesn't have a right look to it at all. So I would just trade this chart right here for this for now, and see if that works out for you. XRP BTC. Oh yeah, that's right. We're trading in Bitcoin. Okay, that's right. Wrong. Yeah, wrong. That's why it didn't look. It looked a little different. XRP BTC. We'll just do Coinbase again. Oh, yeah. I don't think Coinbase has this anymore. So this low has to hold. And looks like a 5 down B, and now you need yeah, actually we'll have to look at it as corrective moves again. So something like this. Something like that. You know, I think it's a little different. I think this low could break, but I think it may not break as much as I think the best way to look at this there. Well, let's see, it's negative. It won't work. Our chart won't work. So ideally C will break A, and then X should be in. So you have to do a full impulse down. One, two, three, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's got something like that coming. And then it should bottom. and then you should get Y. You should get something like this. That's all I'm thinking. And yeah, see, you're on the 3. Let me just go back and relabel this here. Yeah. One, two. Yeah, I think looking at the labels, the divergence got erased. It's probably even more downside than I originally thought. So it's got, as you can see, it's got more to play out to the downside. So I think it's going to go lower. I think it's going to break this low and then at some point reverse. All right, thanks for the super chat. How does Mara look? Let's see here. Mara. So Mara only made the 3 swings and it failed. So it could still be in danger of a connector wave and we could still hit this area. So we never hit the sell area. So it's only a corrective wave now. So Mara may be also sending a warning sign like Microstrategy that something a little more sinister is coming in the crypto market. So we did not get that push higher. So I think you have to assume it's bearish below 2730 and it should and it could very easily hit this area here that we originally wanted it to target. So just keep that in mind. So it did change. The nature of this has changed. Yeah, so the flats usually end like the flat, like if it's a flat, like this is the bear, the bear case, right? This is the super crash, this is the the guys who watch it always like crash crash. So the flat target is usually this 443 right there, usually, but it can be anywhere up to the 502, which is what we hit here. Now, we know that, and people are like, well, no, that's too big for a flat. Well, then go back to the Dow and try to explain that to me, because I used to believe that, and then when you look at the Dow back in 2007, it almost got up to the 1618 itself, and look what it did. I promise you guys, when we were trading here, I was in school, getting my MBA back then. I'll tell you this, when we were trading here, you go watch the stories. Oh, the banks are fine. Everything's wrong. Anyone saying this was going to happen was a fool. Was like crazy talk. Just like I'm saying it now. It's as crazy. But here, we all knew what the crisis was about to happen. We all knew it. Like, it wasn't a secret. We talked about it in my classes and when I was getting my MBA about the real estate market. I wrote papers about the collapse of housing and how it will affect the market. I mean, I wrote papers. I mean, this was expected almost. Like, we knew housing was, full of fraud and shit back in this area. We all knew that. Now, mainstream didn't really want to believe it until the prices started to reverse. Now, the Feds, I think, also got pissed off oil was mooning, right? And then so they turned they wanted oil down. That played into the collapse too. But this is a flat, right? That nobody thinks can ever happen. But look, it happens. Look, we broke this high. But the great thing is, like I keep saying, the market goes higher. So if this happens, if this slim possibility, right, this 1 in a million situation happens, which, I mean, we don't make the market, we don't know. If this happens, we get a flat or even 5's done, the market is going to be higher in the future because 1, it's an impulse. 2, big cap tech broke its highs. It's just the UDAO broke its high. In the future, the market's going to be okay, but it may be very freaking painful. And the question is, if we go through this, can you take the pain? Are you going to be able to take the pain, or what are you going to do? But the future will be okay. The wave structure supports a good, okay future. My count. Now, there's another count that has, has something a lot different, right? It has this not as a 1-2, but as a 3-4. And really the 1-2 is back here. And then this is a whole thing as a wave 5, not just this little piece. Right now I just have this as my wave 5, but some people think this whole thing is a wave 5. If you think that, then the future is going to be horrible. I mean, God help us, because I can't even imagine what the world will be like, because we would come back all the way down to Dow 4,000 or lower, even 3,500. But I don't believe that situation. I don't believe, but there are people that believe that it will actually come all the way down, and that this is wave 5, and then wave 3 and 4 was like the 1970 consolidation or something. So I'm sorry, the 1-2. So I'm just saying, guys, I think the future is okay. I think the path to get there may be quite painful and treacherous. But, and look, guys, these are gaps that haven't filled, by the way. I bet they're all going to fill. I bet they're all going to fill later. Just my hunch. And there's even more up here, from what I understand. So I just stopped tracking them. So anyway, guys, so that's the market overall. I'm just saying that the flat should, now if you go past the 618, it's typically almost I don't find flats that go, when they go beyond that, it's typically not a flat. I haven't found one that I like. So again, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I'll do a couple here of NVIDIA. Someone wants NVIDIA here. So NVIDIA, I believe, has got a bounce and a failure. I think it is due a bounce. It may have already started its bounce. NVIDIA was in an area where it could find buyers. Now, if we don't bounce here, it would be 5 down, and then it'll just turn into A, B, C. So I think NVIDIA will come down and retest this area down here, this wave 4 low, and then hopefully it continues higher to new highs. That's the plan. So then FFIE, I don't know if I have that charted. Let me see. It sounds familiar. Yeah. Long time ago. Well, we got it right, man. Look at that. Holy crap. I don't know. Whoever asked me about this, they probably made a lot of money here. Cool. I like when our penny stock trades work out, because they're so hard to trade, because the DAX stacked against you. But when you use my system, you start to put the odds in your favor. Looks like 5 up. A little bit of bearish divergence. Let's just say give it the benefit of the doubt as 5 up. That brings you back down to retest the lows. So I think You know, it looks like an ABC kind of correction here. Or no, it's a three-wave move. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's a three-wave move. And then A, B, C right there. So it has to be here. So it has to hold this low here at 32.9. So it's actually a low risk, high reward long trade. You could go long here, put your stop at 32 cents, and if you get lucky, you get another really big pump, and you really come out of this congestion, and you're like boom, and you're out. And then I think it's over. Then I think this thing isn't really. I mean, then I think either the three's done and it's just gonna unravel, and if it's a miracle, you get another 4 or 5. But it could be something like that. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. If it does break this low, then it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wouldn't trade it anymore. It's more than likely going to come back to retest the low, and this was the move that we caught on our channel. Yeah, Google looks like 3 waves, right? Yeah, I gave an update on Google, I think, on my video I put out. Google's in a buy area, so Google has not made wave 5 yet. So Google has 1, 2, 3 swings up, right? This looks like it could be too big for a flat. Let's see. Again, it hit the 618 exactly. So I wouldn't expect it. I expect a 5 to negate the flat, and then a big pullback. A big pullback. But like I said, we broke this high. Even if we get this scary pullback, what if it goes all the way back down? And it could very well do that. The future is going to be okay. The future is going to, because we broke the high, like the sequence is there for higher prices. It's just we may be taking a path of pain that's coming. So here I'm looking for a 5, and then that's it. Now, if we can't find 5 here, I think the flat is in play, and we have to be careful. But it's got to have a pretty significant drop, and it already had earnings. So I think you get a 5. I think you're gonna get this 5 here, something like that. I don't think it's gonna go that deep, by the way. I think more than likely maybe back to 148, 146. Okay, let's see. Another super chat came in. Mike Koza, appreciate that. Let's look at Loom. So we may be off by a swing. We may be in this degree 4. I think that's what we're in. So we're probably just off by 1 swing. And it looks like we're in this higher degree 4. It's obvious it's probably going to come and take that out. So I would be looking for a push up here. 1, 2, 3. And it's really tough to say how high it's going to go. RR. So we have this 3 that looks like it's probably finished. If it is, it would drop back down to 386 or the 618 retrace. Let's look for the 618. That's pretty deep. So because we've come such a long way, so it could actually drop to 327. If it does that, it's probably going to have a bounce and a failure of some kind, you know, and then a 5. But this looks like it's topped. Let's see if I can just do Kratos defense real quick. I guess is that a Trump stock? Trump stock. Let's take a look. Whoa, what happened here? Oh my God. Holy shit, look at this thing. Okay, so obviously there's only one way to trade charts like that. You find the low and you just go bullish off the low. So we're going to go bullish off this low until the market says otherwise. So here you have 3 up, 3 down, 5 up. Maybe we can yeah, what a weird chart. A, interesting. C, B. Actually, it's only 3 up. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only 3 up. So it's a corrective move. It's a corrective move. Kind of hard to see it. And then this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 5. One, two, three, connector, 1, 2, 3. So corrective move there. And I bet we make one more swing up. That's my guess. So I'll be looking for more upside. At least another swing higher. Up to like maybe 40.99, 48.40. Somewhere like here. And should follow 3 swings. So it looks like, see, very similar to this wave. But you see how you did that. So it's going to do something like that. It's going to go like, probably something like that. That's what I'm thinking. Thanks for the super chat. Sorry, not super chat. I just, yeah, Kratos. I just trying to fill, because I don't have a lot of people on the call, so I could try to get a lot of these. AEHR is another one that I know a lot of people like to trade here. Yeah, we wanted the bigger connector wave. And now that we broke down here, you see how we broke down? We didn't get this 5 in C. So looks like to me we have 1, 2, 3 up off the low. And then 3 up. So it's corrective. So and then this is some kind of, so yeah, so we had this as 3 down, but maybe this looks like 5 waves down. Yeah, let's just take a step back and look. If that's 5 down, that's 3 up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Yeah, I think we probably should put the Y there. I think it's pretty obvious. We just didn't have the count quite right on this. It's going to have to be something like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. There's just no other count that works. And so now we're pulling back, but it's only in 3. So it's kind of tough to say where we go from here. But more than likely, it's corrective, my guess. And now it could double correct. It could double correct higher. Or it could just go to new lows. So I think this is a really tough chart to try to decipher. But I think we have to go with this count and go with this as a corrective reaction. So this reaction could have corrected the whole move. And then it could either go to new lows or make another swing higher. More than likely, it's going to go lower, even if it bounces a little bit. Yeah, this one's not that clear to me in this area right now, but I don't think it didn't make. It should have. If it could have made that 5th wave, I think you could have said that's a low. But now that did that, it could still come back and take those lows out. Let's try the Campbell soup. Sure, CPB. All right, we broke that high. That's always good. Looks like some kind of big extended fifth, and like an extended fifth, we lose the whole fifth. So this is again another example. When you correct, you almost always lose the wave 5. It's almost a certainty. It almost happens so often. So just so you know that. So we're coming up, but this looks like only 3 up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3 up. Uh-oh, that's not good. That's not good. Yeah, this like this is an ABC, so I think this corrective structure is a little suspect. Actually, it's not even that. There, yeah. Yeah, kind of a messy structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think the flat is in play here. Then you have 1. And now you're in some kind of 2. We took this high out. I think 2 can keep going higher. I would say expect 2 to continue higher. If we could take this high out, then the charts negate it, and then I would have to put 2 here and just call this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and it will probably do really well. So this is I'm leaning towards a corrective structure on this chart, where maybe it can get back up to 63, and then after that it's going to be tested if it could take that high out or not. Something like that. So good luck trading it, whoever wants. So again, this one it's like 50-50 whether we break this high or not. But I think you're going to get a push higher. Up last minute super chat coming in. Real quick about the silver. No, I think the thing with silver is you just have to manage your risk. So you have to understand like where your entry is, where your stop loss is, and make a decision on whether you want to buy it or not. Right now, silver is in a buy area actually. If for wave 5, so this is an area you could buy silver. It looks like Bitcoin Cash did break out, like I was mentioning earlier. Interesting. So it's in the buy area. Okay, so silver is a buy here with a stop loss at 26. Now, you have to make a decision. Do you want to take that trade or not? You can take it. And you can make good money on this wave 5. This will go up to $35. That's good money. Now, if it doesn't work out, you're going to lose money down to $26. Only you can decide, are you willing to lose that or not? Now, do I think silver is just going to drop before you? No, you just put a stop loss and stop out. Now, we start breaking those levels, then we're in a really bad situation in the market. Okay, I'm just saying. But you'll have to decide. I still say it's a buy here with a stop at 26. It's still a buy for this 5th wave. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying there is, if people, what I'm trying to, I guess, caution people with the bear case is don't put your whole stack in silver. Don't put everything you own in silver and open up your stop loss, because if it is a flat, you're going to lose everything. That's all I'm saying with the bear case. But I would definitely not short it. I would not sell everything you own. I would just keep an eye on it. But if you are not diversified, you're not managing your money, you don't have your risk defined, you're not using stop losses, then you're setting yourself up for the trap. If it's a trap, you're setting yourself up for that. But if you're smart about it, you can go long silver right now, put a stop at 26, and see if you get to 5, and let the market decide. Let the market tell you if you're wrong. But you could lose money on this difference. But only you can decide how much money you want to lose based on how much you bet. So you got to make that decision yourself. All right, next, okay, go back to Rolton Cheese here. UBI, let's go to your requests here. UBI. A European stock, having the Olympics in Paris, I guess. Okay, so you see we're about to break. This looks like a big descending triangle about to break down. If you're a chart pattern trader, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, you'd have to label it something like this. I mean, I don't see it. Is it going to come back down to $3? I don't think so. But again, usually you lose the whole fifth wave. But you see, we barely took the divergence out, so that's why I want to label it this way. So I'm going to label it this way, but that's pretty, that's one major extended fifth wave. Okay, so it's actually in the buy area right now. But I bet it's going to push a little bit lower. Although, see, yeah, you broke that low and that reset the cycle. So yeah, it's pushing down in an impulse. So either you're going to get, you need capitulation to erase the divergence, or you're going to get an impulse. It's going to bounce, and then it's going to fail. Like it's going to be in this weird consolidation pattern. Something like that. And then maybe you get like A, you get B, and then C finally comes down to this area, 10 years, who knows how long, in the future, something like that maybe. Now, if you could erase divergence, then it would be a WX, YZ correction. It would be a triple, and then you could find a hard low. All right, good luck on that. Next is on NWG. NWG, LSE. So a chart like this could be a flat, right? But this looks like N3, right? This doesn't look like 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here, that's too big. So A. Maybe I could force the label. I could force the impulse. Not enough. So this one is so that wasn't really helpful. So I think there's really the only way to do this is look for the impulse to end and try to play it alongside. But as you could see here, we bounced, but this is the wave 5. So this is the wave 5 right here, and it looks like wave 5 ended. Looks like here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here, so I would trade it bullish from this point on, right here, and just I would just trade it as a bull market. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, probably put that there. It's probably going into wave 3. So it's probably doing something like that. It's hard on the shorter time frames to kind of, understand it. It's not a lot of data. So it has bearish divergence. So this could be done, and then you get a pullback, and then you come back out. Something like that. RKT. RKT on the LSE. So RKT looks like clean 5 waves up, but let's take a look. 1, 2. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Yeah. So, and again, it's a, I don't know if that one's a flat because we didn't really, so this one could become one. So this one's a tricky structure. So the buy area is right here, exactly where it is right now. Oh yeah, race divergence. So I'm willing to bet that's the low right there, right where it's trading at the moment. And again, it could still bounce and fail, but I think you're going to get a bounce. It looks like you have. I don't think it's a flat. I think it's a corrective move. What do these guys do? Why is this one consumer products and shit like that? Never heard of them. Oh, they make Lysol and shit. Okay, well that's cool. All right. So anyway, something like that. Good luck on that. BBY, LSE. One, two, three, four, five. A big extended fifth, and some bearish divergence there. So more than likely, again, I don't like seeing that kind of divergence on these lows. So I think it's going to fail at some point. A, B, and then C. So we need an impulse off this bottom, and I don't see the separation yet to get that wave 3. So my guess is it will make a new high in a flat connector. It could go to 532 up into this area, and then at some point reverse. And this would be like a flat correction. That's what I'm thinking. Then SKSBF. Not a lot of chart data. Again, just looking at it, looks like 5 up here, 3 down, then 1, 2. Yeah, this one's not clear to me. Let's. We have to go to even a higher time frame. Yeah, it's corrective off this low. That's why we didn't see it. So this would be the sell area right here, and that's what happened. It got dumped. So yeah, it's corrective. It's some corrective move. A, B, C, something like that. Then this is too difficult. I wouldn't recommend trading it because of the chart, but I think what it's going to do is this and that, because this doesn't look complete. Like, it looks to me that we'll get another push higher, and then it's gonna come all unglued. So I would be looking for something like that. But this one is very, I have a low confidence level in this chart here. But I'm just giving you based on what I see because of this situation. It doesn't look like it resolved the corrective move here. It looks like it needs to do that with a bigger push higher. Eric, IZM, yeah, let's go to that. IC Zoom group. Yikes. So again, when I see stocks like this, we just go from the low and we try to just chart it as a bull market from the low until the market stops you out. So you say bullish from 187. It looks like 1-2, corrective move, up, a connector, and now another move up, which is end it here. So I'd be looking for more downside. So I think either it's going to come down and break these lows, or you'll get a nice three-wave move and you can get another push higher. But chances are I'll do something like that. Because it's only in 3, I'm only seeing the 3. I'm not seeing an impulse. And it's clearly you're resetting the 4-hour cycle here. And maybe even the daily cycle. So maybe it's a short opportunity against 229. Because it may go substantially lower because the daily cycle has a lot of room to fall still. So I did those NVIDIA SPYQs already. You can watch them earlier. So that's it, guys. Appreciate it. I may try to do another live stream during futures trading tonight. You know, my night here on the West Coast, but just which would be pretty late on the East Coast. But I would just say that you know, just expect. You know, I think we're due for a relief rally, so I appreciate you know. I'm sorry, just got a super chat come in. Another one, ASTR. They always come in at the last minute. That's fine. I don't mind doing them. That's why I do this show or channel here. ASTR. That's why I do this. ASRT. So the same thing, you see how we broke all those lows? The minute that happens, it's usually a go to zero chart. And you see you pretty much broke the low, the support, the historical support, you back tested and got rejected. So that's why I call this a go to zero. It's not really tradable on a long position anymore, but there could be opportunities, so we can look at it. So what we want to do is look at it from a 5-wave move down standpoint. More than likely, you've erased some kind of divergence with that extension here. Let's see. You actually reset the whole cycle here. So this whole move corrected the whole thing, and you actually broke the low. So it could be about to have a catastrophic meltdown. It could be in a 1-2 and about to just get annihilated, right? Because this move corrected the whole decline, and not only that, you came down and you broke the low. Now here you could still pump a little bit more, but I'd just be looking for more downside. It's going to be very difficult to break back above the historical trend line here. Anytime I see a stock break these kind of patterns and break these all-time lows is usually a go to zero chart. We saw Fisker do it right on our channel and on live stream, and it turned to be like it was true, a go to zero. So like these charts tend to just, once they break those historical support levels, there's just so many trap buyers. It never recovers. It goes into a death spiral, into bankruptcy, or you know, reverse split. You know, but I think this too could bounce a little more here. So just keep that in mind. Appreciate it, guys. I'm out. Talk to you later. See you later on this evening.